Welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 30th of July, and on today's podcast, we have a good one for you today as President Trump tags Q supporter during random Twitter binge. Is this another Q proof? I believe it is. And also, coming from the Baltimore TSA, they find a missile launcher in man's luggage on the way to Baltimore. Unbelievable, guys. Also, my friends, we will be going over a ton of memes today. A lot of action going on right now in the news. Big things are about to pop, and I'm just ready for it, as well as you are, I'm sure. But before we get into today's podcast, would you please welcome my sponsor, MyPatriotSupply.com. Hey guys, these natural disasters and geoengineered storms are nothing to play around with. People are never prepared before or even after these types of situations, but you can prepare now. I trust and use My Patriot Supply for my food storage, and you should too. You can save $62 right now off the regular price of this 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website, preparewithtruereporting.com. It includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years in storage, and My Patriot Supply ships fast and discreetly right to your door. Act now so you know you are prepared, and save $62 with preparewithtruereporting.com. That's preparewithtruereporting.com. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So this actually dropped it at 2:30 this afternoon, and it's only 5 o'clock. So I saw this retweeted by Joe M. Kind of blew my mind, and I'm ready to share it with you. It says here, Trump tags Q supporter during random Twitter binge. President Donald Trump inadvertently amplified the Q conspiracy theory on Tuesday when he tagged a random supporter in the middle of his Twitter binge. Is this another Q proof? I think so. In quotes, we should immediately pass voter ID to ensure the safety and sanctity of our voting system, Trump wrote. Also, paper ballots as backup, old-fashioned, but true. Thank you. Then we could see here, we should immediately pass the voter ID to ensure the safety and sanctity of our voting system. Washington Post reporter Josh Dawsey decided to look up into who Trump tagged when he wrote that tweet. And it just so happens that @VoterID Please is an account which promotes Q. And it's right here, Josh Dawsey. Voter ID Please. Proud to be hashtag you know who. And this is who he retweeted. Unbelievable. Here's some other Q related features that can be found on that account. Why President Trump? I didn't vote for Trump's personal life. I voted for a guy who hated the poison of politics as much as most of us. Continuing forward, we see this is the same stuff that this guy has posted out there. Vote ID retweeted, and the young or the older black lady holding on to Trump's hand. Beautiful, right? Just so on and so forth. For those blissfully unaware, Q is a far-right conspiracy theory that basically claims the president is constantly at war with globalists, in quote, the deep state, pedophiles, and various Trump opponents who supposedly banded together to bring him to his knees. Q has grown popular among the president's base, and while it's not clear what Trump thinks of the theory, he and his allies have amplified pro-Q content multiple times before. @Voter ID Please was not the only random Twitter account blown up by Trump. Here's the other tweets Trump just sent out by retweeting or complimenting somebody else. Being suspended from Twitter has me missing incredible videos like this one. Have you seen this? Thank you. It says right here, thank you, Eric. That was sent to him. That's right. This all occurred today, right? So, yeah. This wasn't the only tweet that he put out there that he retweeted from somebody, but the fact is that the very first one that he did put out there was someone who supports Q. So, and I'm sure Trump saw that. There's no way he didn't see that. Is this a Q proof? Absolutely, in my opinion. Moving forward, Baltimore TSA finds missile launcher in man's luggage. A missile launcher was discovered in the Baltimore airport. As the hyper-partisan media attempts to paint President Donald Trump as a racist for telling the truth about the situation in Baltimore, Maryland, more news continues to surface proving the president was right to describe the city as, in quote, infested with rats as well as violence, crime, and illegal weapons. Very true. One man, our president, has put all the pressure on the Baltimore, millions of eyes on the Baltimore. You think that was by accident? Absolutely not. It was strategic. Socialism does not work. You know it. I know it. And this is just more proof. You can look into LA, Baltimore, New York, so on and so forth. They are garbage places. A missile launcher was discovered by the Transportation Security Administration in a man's luggage at the Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport. It was later determined not to be a live weapon, but almost certainly is illustrative of the larger image of Baltimore. Unbelievable. Over the weekend, President Trump described the once prosperous city as a disgusting rat and rodent infested mess. It says here, Representative Elijah Cummings has been a brutal bully, shouting and screaming at the great men and women of the Border Patrol about conditions at the southern border, when actually his Baltimore district is far worse and more dangerous. His district is considered the worst in America. As proven last week during a congressional tour, the border is clean, efficient, and well ran, just very crowded. Cummings' district is a disgusting rat and rodent infested mess. If he spent more time in Baltimore, maybe he could help clean up this very dangerous and filthy place. The mainstream media and Democrats colluded to use this tweet to accuse the president of overt racism, denying the horrifying facts on the ground in the once prosperous city. However, prior to the hyper-partisan politics of the Trump era, local media agreed with President Trump on the condition of the city. Yeah, because they live in it, right? They know what's going on. In fact, only 3 months ago, the mayor of Baltimore fled the city and the state as federal authorities conducted a criminal raid on her home. She allegedly engaged in illicit activity relating to the scale of the sales of her children's book. Wow. It appears Democrats are completely willing to overlook crime, poverty, and corruption and massive piles of garbage and human waste on the streets. If doing so will make President Trump look bad. And I totally agree, guys. It's all coming out. Elijah Cummings is going down the tubes. Let's just be honest. Real quick, let's get into some memes. A lot of cool information is coming out. So let's take a look. All right, guys. So at Say When LA, the Maryland Human Trafficking Task Force reports that victims of human sex trafficking and the dealers themselves have told law enforcement that Maryland is a gold mine for human trafficking. POTUS knows everything. Unbelievable, right? He does know everything, and it's just playing right into his hands. He's loving every second of it. The next time you travel to Baltimore, Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport to board a plane, it may be possible that a young woman or teenage girl in the area is being kidnapped to be sold into the human sex trafficking trade. Yikes. And I cannot touch on keywords, you obviously know that, but the Garlic Festival in Gilroy, California, we all know what took place there. Why are Freemasons on the scenes of the most you-know-what locations, openly giving interviews or in background shots? Symbolism will be their downfall, and this is just another example of that. Do you believe in coincidences? Look at the gentleman's hat on the side giving the interview. You tell me what's a coincidence and what is not. Q explained to bypass the mainstream media, MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, and its controlled opposition, e.g. InfoWars. The U.S. executive is engaged in a direct dialogue with select parts of the public. If you want to understand why that is necessary, you need to do some research on the historical relationship between the media and the hitherto out-of-control intelligence services. This is a war of credibility and legitimacy. With the battle now emerging from the shadows into the public eye, it doesn't really matter what you think of Trump or his administration per se, because this is not, in quote, politics as you've come to know it. There is a de facto, a military government in the USA right now running the show, fighting the deep state shadow government. It maintains a civilian facade for show to avoid panic and societal meltdown. Don't believe me? There was a formal state of emergency that was declared in December, with all the powers that entails and remains in force. Military tribunals are in preparation. Vast asset seizures have taken place. Sealed indictments are running at 30 times plus the normal level. Thousands of senior executives have resigned. Abnormal numbers of politicians are not seeking re-election. Watergate was a tiny blip compared to this. The anonymous team behind the Q identity is the new Deep Throat, and Anons and POTUS are the new Woodwards and Bernsteins, spreading the anti-corruption message far and wide. The internet disintermediates all traditional publishing platforms and media empires, bypassing their censorship and deceit. You reading this message is absolute proof that the novel public relations strategy works. The key question is, how should you respond to Q's messages? As reasonable people may choose to differ in interpreting propaganda. I believe that what Q is presenting us with is the end game of a process that has been in progress for decades. The assassination of JFK was a coup d'etat initiated by the deep state, forces against the formal government. JFK was undoing the power of the private central banking cartel, and they moved to terminate him before he could make and complete the plan. This is now the long-awaited counter-coup by American patriots to reestablish the full original republic. It is the Second American Revolution, whose goal is largely the same as the first one: freedom from unaccountable powers of aristocracy and transnational finance. Your presidents should not all come from a small pool of privileged families. How can we be reasonably certain Q is the real deal? From well over 2,000 crumbs dropped by Q, there are dozens and dozens, likely over hundreds of confirmations that have been set up by the administration. Some are small and subtle, unlikely coincidences of spelling and timing of Q drops with Trump tweets. Some enormous and unmissable, trailing the Korea agreement well in advance, and a few splendidly silly, like Q being challenged to put tip-top into a Trump speech and it happenings. Those malevolent forces are now being uprooted, and justice is coming in an epic manner. This is absolutely unprecedented in our lifetime, and natural skepticism is warranted. It is merely my best reading of the situation, meant as a gift to you of my insight and intellect. Should it transpire that I am merely another gullible fool with a keyboard, then I readily accept the reputation consequences. I have read the situation correctly. Then many people will have their sense of reality seriously challenged by forthcoming events. Expect to find more heartbreaking betrayals and horrific crimes by those in power whom you previously trusted in all of the affiliations. The Great Awakening is not going to be easy, and it is absolutely necessary, lest a system of tyranny and totalitarianism takes hold. All right, we can check this out. Something big must be brewing, everybody. Who is anybody is backing away from Hillary, Warren, Brazil's, and now Michelle deleted all Hillary-related tweets on her feed going back to 2013, just 5 days ago. Obama deleted Hillary's tweet and also stopped following her. Oh my God, that's huge, guys. I'm sure there'll be more coming out about that. Panic, they say. This is from yesterday. FBI braces for Durham's first intel drop. No one is safe. The cartel members of the FBI who tried to illegally unseat a president of the United States are bracing for what is shaping up as a disastrous week, according to many feds. And there is definite unrest inside the Bureau, which includes Director Christopher Wray, who was reportedly in the process of making drastic changes with high-ranking FBI personnel. Federal law enforcement officials confirmed, whether warranted or not. It's a knee-jerking week. One FBI insider said, one of those deals where you don't know if your ass is on the line next or for challenging the top leadership or something they may have cooked up to try to get you to leave the building. The overall feeling among many top-level spooks, no one is safe, especially those who have openly challenged the corrupt culture in the Bureau. The cause of the panic could have something to do with the declassified documents that are slated to drop this week, a byproduct of the U.S. Attorney John Durham's probe into the FBI and the DOJ. Durham was appointed by the Attorney General William Barr to investigate the role of top government officials spying on Donald Trump and his campaign. Again, the cause of the panic could have something to do with declassified documents that are slated to drop this week. I heard it could be tomorrow. Look for the fireworks to begin on Wednesday, some insiders have predicted. Meanwhile, insiders say the FBI is increasingly in shambles, developing Thomas Paine. Tribunal Watch tells us breaking inside sources reporting Epstein is ready to talk in the next 72 to 144 hours. Seeks protection, shown coverage, MSNBC helpless, scapegoat, or witness. Star witness? Oh my God. Prep phase 2. The deck of cards. What is a Trump card? Coincidence? Wow, that is huge. No one touches a hair on his pretty little pedo Satanist CIA smuggling face, Star Witness claims. How the privileged crumble. These people are weak. In 2019, our Barry Seal doesn't get silenced. Assured, trusted sources. Wow, somebody may be stepping forward, guys. A big star. The sun will come out tomorrow. Eyes open, ears open. D-Class at Devin Nunes, Epstein conference, and so much more. Enjoy the show. I certainly will. The DOJ criminal investigation wrapping up nicely. We did not waste time. Never doubt what we can accomplish with the right people in the right places at the right time. I highly suggest following Q. D-Class, D-Class, D-Class. Hold on tight. Rain inbound this week. And my friends, that is the end of the podcast. A lot could be shaping up for this week, guys. I know we say that a lot, but things do happen behind the scenes. Just be aware of that. I believe that we are in for the time of our lives, that for Americans, for humanity, we are pushing forward in a big way. We're moving along very swiftly. I didn't think it would be going this smoothly per se, but it certainly is looking to be that way. Guys, if you found this enjoyable and you found it informative, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting. We just hit 14,000 followers. I greatly appreciate it. You can also donate to this channel and keep it afloat by going to my PayPal or Patreon in the description box below. We also have a PO box and TRUreporting merch, so definitely get your hands on that. You can wear it if you want to, and then send it to me through Twitter, and I'll retweet it for you so a ton of people can see it and get you some followers too. Guys, please take care of one another and love one another, and I will talk to you very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.